Okay, we are live. Look like there's some soapies in the chat. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. I got Bree on the line with me too.
Hi, everybody. I feel like I was missing in action last week.
Girl, yeah, that's because I did the show in the early afternoon, and I think you were at a doctor's appointment with your son,
Yeah,
maybe? Yeah. So it was me and Jay, and
I heard.
yeah, we rocked out for about a good, what, maybe hour and a half, something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
So it was a pretty good episode. Pretty good show to make sure everybody got to talk about it since, I didn't do it Friday night. So, yes, we are back and I'm feeling the Damian Lily thing. I saw a couple of people in the chat was saying that they were also excited about their chemistry as well. We got a lot to talk about with Bold too, and I mean Hope is just woof child.
Oh, boy, talk about crashing out. My goodness.
It is insane. So let me do a formal introduction. Welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where myself, T, and Bree will be recapping both Young and Restless, Bold and the Beautiful for the week of February 17th through February 21st. Y'all, one more week. We are headed into March. Also, next week, we got the Beyond the Gate starting on Monday. I am excited about that. And, I know a lot of you guys have been asking on whether or not we will also do the weekly reviews and all that stuff. Yep, we will be talking about BTG as well. So we got
Oh,
YNR,
absolutely.
B&B, and BTG. What you say, Bree?
Absolutely. We can't. We've been waiting
For
to talk
over a
about Beyond
year.
waiting.
Listen, Bree, when they first dropped that about what, the end of 2023, going into,
Mm-hmm.
we were so excited. And I can't believe that it's finally
I
here.
know.
Finally here. Yay.
We got through these couple of months. It took a minute, but we're here. Yay!
Yeah. And you know what? They actually did a screening in New York City yesterday of the first episode. And, a lot of folks, I wish they could have did it closer because I would have went. I
Mm-hmm.
would have went if they had it downtown Chicago or something. But they did have it in NYC, and from what I understand, it was really good. The drama was drama-ing, according to some of the folks that went to the screening of the first episode. So I was
Some
hoping,
rave reviews.
yeah, I was hoping that they was gonna, like put spoilers out for next week for them, but I haven't seen anything. So maybe after this first week, they kind of want to get everybody anticipating, and then we'll probably get, who knows, get spoilers the weeks after it, like everybody else.
But I cannot wait. I'm trying to get like every little update, little nugget that they provide. So we're
Mm-hmm.
finally here, y'all. We can't wait to talk about it.
Yes, Gail, I did hear that John Lindstrom and Katie McLean is coming over to Beyond the Gates. Yes, I did hear that. Yep.
Mm.
So
So
it's
we might get some.
go
We could
ahead.
definitely get some more talented actors on the show. It's definitely heating up. We can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, what we normally do in the first half of the show is the Young and the Restless. Then in the midway, we kind of, do a little housekeeping and then check in the temperature, see how many in the chat, and make sure you're hitting the like button. Then we do the Bold and the Beautiful. And then we have 5 other segments. Flip the script, who's taking several seats, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and the Simp Olympics. And I already got my platinum medal ready for one individual this week.
With the platinum hair too.
Oh yeah, we gonna roast this person this week because that was insane. How many people in the chat, Bree?
We got 76 people in the chat. You guys were ready, Soapies.
I know. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button since you're ready. Hit that like button. make sure you subscribe to this channel. Spoilers will be coming out over the weekend for the week of the 24th through the 28th. And then, of course, the daily. Now, quick thing. I know some folks may have been wondering about the Young and the Restless recaps for this week. I'm not, obviously, you guys aren't feeling it. There's a couple of storylines which we're going to talk about that I'm interested in, but my analytics are showing that you guys like bold over anything. So I don't know if, maybe my channel only attracted majority bold fans. But my thing is I'm trying to see, is it in my best time interest, to recap Y&R. I can definitely talk about it in the weekly chat, because there's some things we can discuss, right? But I want to know, if I'm going to take the time daily to, kind of give you guys some content on Y&R. Either you share with other soapies that you might know who might not be aware of the channel, or whatever. That would be great. But y'all some bold lovers. My bold analytics is pretty
skyrocketed.
Right, it's pretty consistent. And Jacqueline said there was nothing worth to recap this week for one.
Look, there's some stuff that we're definitely going to recap, but it did not feel like February sweeps on Y&R. That's just me.
It was only 2 days of February sweeps, and that was January 30th and the 31st, when that whole thing went down with Jordan and Ian. And then the rest of the month just fell off. Obviously, they tapped into the Damian and Amy story, but I think they had dragged it out for the last, almost 2 months. That now we get to the end, and then they switched up and say, oh no, this guy is Holden. It's not Damian. This is Damian. So, I don't know. I think it kind of, I'm interested, obviously, in the Damian and Lily connection, but, a lot of people is not really feeling this whole thing with Amy and Damian, so.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I have mixed feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with Y&R. Oh, Keish. Hey, Keish.
What's up, y'all?
Look, she's always sliding in the back door. Ain't nobody.
Silent assassin.
I didn't even notice you. I look down at my phone and I see three people. I'm like, oh, that's Keish, girl. I didn't even know you was like that.
That's what I do. I'm a sneaky one.
Oh, man. Did you think Y&R was slow today, too? This week, too?
Y&R been slow for about 3 weeks now, at least. But I am enjoying the Damian, Nate, Lily, all of them. I'm enjoying that storyline finally since we've got Damian on screen.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it. They sending you shouts out, Keish. They're like, hey, Keish.
Oh, hi,
y'all. All right, let me do the summary for... Hold on 1 second. For Y&R, let me pull my summary up for the week of the 17th through the 21st. Okay, so Lily calls a truce with Victor, and Holden begs Audra to meet before he leaves. Victor shuts Kyle down after putting a new plot against the Abbotts in motion. Lauren grills Michael, and Nikki warns the Abbotts and Claire to brace themselves. Damian makes a surprising reveal, and Phyllis is reported missing. And Amy and Damian... Oh my goodness, let me close that. Amy and Damian have an emotional breakthrough, and Claire gets an eyeful of Summer in Kyle's arms. Where y'all want to start?
I'm really trying to think of what happened. I guess we can get Lauren and Michael. We can get the simp Olympian out the way, I guess.
Yeah, Michael, I'm glad that she was continuously asking questions now. whether that's going to solve anything where Michael is not going to continue to put his life on the line for Victor, who don't gives him two. I'm gonna let y'all go. Who want to go first on that?
I'm gonna go.
Okay, go ahead, Bree.
I'm so frustrated. First, the episode that he had with Victor, I think that was on Tuesday. This man said that he was happy that he was on Victor's speed dial. After everything that they put you through, you would think that you would have blocked this number, would have got a different phone number, had dropped any communication, especially with this man making you beg for a job, and he's still ungrateful for you covering up his crimes, and you're still covering up his crimes. You just happy to accept any crumbs, and you had the nerve to say, I'm just glad to be up on your speed dial. Who says that? After being thrown in prison by this man. And then he gets to dinner with his wife, and she's like, why are you, and I'm going to paraphrase you guys. She's basically asking this man, like, why have you been acting the fool for this man, just given what this man has put you through? And this man, to some degree, said he is loyal to a fault to Victor, as if he can't cure himself from that.
Right.
And she's asking this man, why are you acting so stupid? What is it about Victor? And he said he's like the father he's never had. He looks up to him as a father figure. Who says that? Who looks up to Victor as a father figure, given how he treats his own kids?
Girl,
but I'll stop there.
One thing is, I mean, like you just said, I think it was a Tuesday's episode or whatever, the day before he talked to Lauren. Victor was screaming at this man.
Yeah.
And you think that's okay for that man to talk to you like that, and then you go back and try to dodge your questions from your wife and deflect and talk about them green olives that she was trying to keep you from eating. And I mean, she was like, what was you doing there in the first place? Why didn't you leave? I mean, I would have been mad if I had found out exactly that, hey, oh, well, he told me I could leave, but you know what, I stayed there and I would willingly take a bullet for Victor. Excuse me?
Oh my goodness.
And he said that with a straight face. I'm like, you do realize that's your wife sitting across that table.
And then in the same breath said that he always puts his wife and his son first.
Mm-hmm.
When is that day? Because Victor has seen more of Michael than his wife probably has.
Exactly. And the thing is, he's still blaming, even though they think, well, obviously Ian is still around, but with the Jordan situation, even though she's gone, he's still blaming that on them. Well, if I had did it my way, then they wouldn't have came back to town. What? So keeping them in town instead of sending them back to jail where Ian let her out, that would have made sense, because she would still, I don't know, I guess he expected her to just die up under his house somewhere, and everybody would wonder where the smell coming from.
And I'm like, he was also expecting Michael to keep tabs on what was going on with Jordan. But I'm like, you have this man committing even more crimes for you. He was dealing with the whole Basad thing for Victor.
Yeah, that is true. And now he's trying to get him to get these 3 moles in Jabot.
And he was also the attorney for Sharon. Like, Michael was busy for the Newmans. So how is he supposed to keep tabs on a whole criminal? Like if and on top of that, Victor even want that lady in the prison. He felt that his prison had sufficed. And Michael's still looking out for this man instead of just letting this man fall. Help get this woman into prison. He did his job. Why is Michael trying to move like a superhero?
Oh no. What you got, Keish?
I'm just glad that Lauren stays on Michael's neck when it comes to Victor. Because this isn't the first incident, the first time that Lauren has gotten on him about everything that he does for Victor. This has been a constant with him, at least for the last decade, on and off. She's always had something to say about how he drops everything for him and how he puts himself in danger for Victor.
Mm-hmm.
So, just her once again trying to smack some sense into her husband. And it's like, what has to happen for him to. I feel like Lauren has to leave him in order for him to wake up. Because, I mean, he's basically doing whatever he wants where Victor is concerned, regardless of how his wife feels. And it's like he's not going to budge on that. So I feel like the only thing that could possibly have him budge on that is Lauren threatening to leave him.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually leaving him.
Or even better, every time that Lauren has cheated on Michael, that is when he recognizes that he has a wife.
Right.
This is why I said she needs a little side piece. Because if anybody remembers, like Carmine, he was a big, muscular bartender. He was so wrapped up trying to help Victor. His wife was cheating. And then when he found that out, all of a sudden, now he wanted to play husband of the year, keep Carmine away from his wife and all of that. So it's only until she steps out and moves on with a whole other man that he recognizes he has a wife.
Exactly. And, you know, the thing is, when you somebody like Victor, who to me is a textbook narcissist, there's nothing that's going to ever satisfy him. He just want what he wants in the moment. He don't care about you or what you got going on. Because remember, there was that other scene when Lauren and Michael went up to the suite, and you know they was about to get busy, and who was calling his phone? Victor. I'm glad they didn't show Michael take off in the middle of spending time with his wife, but I can guarantee you, I don't know if we'll ever get that scene where, you know, Victor asked, well, where were you? I tried to call you. And what he gonna say? I was getting my freak on with my wife. Well, you should have got up mid-stroke and came on over here. I mean, that's how selfish Victor is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so leave him on, you know, not answering the phone and, you know, spend some time with your wife. But I can guarantee you he going to be mad about that too.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Bree.
Just Myra said, she was responding to Monique Abrams. She said, Michael has had his head in Victor's behind for so long. I can't remember who he used to be.
I mean, I do. Okay, so do you like him better when he was the DA? Because at least he wasn't working for Victor. He was working for the state. But the thing is, he would get into it for Victor because Victor always was calling in favors. So he just can't get away from Victor either way.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if he's a DA or if he's Victor's personal attorney. Victor is always going to have a hold on him in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So, but I guess that little sleepover that they had ain't gonna stop him for simping after Victor. We'll see him right up Victor's behind once again. So, all right. We also have this situation where Victor met with Kyle and Claire. Now, we had this conversation in the chat because Claire was really trying to force this thing. And I mean, how many people got to tell you that Victor ain't going to just be like, oh my God, yes, I accept you too. If he don't want to be bothered, he don't want to be bothered. And granted, part of what Summer is saying is right. We know why Summer is saying it. But Claire was like, oh, this ain't fair. You have to. No. Your own mama got arrested at her wedding day. What makes you think that he's going to accept the two of you just because you say so?
Yeah, it's almost like she views it as a challenge for some reason. Because I don't understand why she cares so much about what Victor thinks.
Right.
It's like she views it as a challenge that she's going to get him. Nobody else can get Victor to change his mind, but she's going to get Victor to change his mind. And it's, I don't know, like, let it go. Just continue dating who you gonna date and just deal with whatever snarkiness she gonna have to deal with where Victor is concerned.
Yeah,
Because she's wasting her time.
That's a good question, Keish. Is why are you doing this? What are you trying to prove that you can actually? Is this a challenge, like you say, or she's just trying to prove that she can actually be that one person that I'm gonna get Victor to say what I expect him to say, and it was just a waste of time to me. And then she's looking like a deer in headlights. And I'm like, how many people got to tell you? And even after Victor said no and walked away, she still tried to get her grandmother to continue to talk to him.
Yeah. And it's like, after what happened between him and Kyle, why are you forcing this on Kyle too?
That good point. Good point. What you got, Bree?
Honestly, I think she's trying to force the issue because I think she's a little bit jealous of the fact that he accepted Summer and Kyle's relationship. So in some sort of ways, like either she's trying to make a point to Summer and to Victor that, hey, she can be with the man. They can have difference of opinion. I think she said it in dialogue too. They can have a difference of opinion and still find some form of peace. But more importantly, to show that Summer isn't any better than Claire. That she can equally have Victor on her side and accept her relationship. Because it didn't matter up until Summer had said that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she keeps trying to force this issue. And even when she had that sit down with her and Summer at the at Crimson Lights, you can kind of see on her face that it bothered this girl so much that she couldn't get Victor's approval. And she's quick to say that she can go about her life. She's a woman, and she's an adult. She can do whatever she wants. So it shouldn't matter, especially since everyone keeps telling her Victor's not going to change his mind. He's set in his ways. So you would think, take the stress off of yourself and trying to get his man's approval. But she has a point she wants to try to prove to Summer.
Yeah, but Summer's also being a little disingenuous, and of course, Claire can see what's going on. That girl walked and landed right in Kyle's chest, and he's looking like all types of crazy. And then she throw these little shades in there, like, well, when we were together, we didn't have that problem. So you sticking that to her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's being shady, and so Claire's also seeing that too.
It's catty between them both.
Mm-hmm.
It's subtle cattiness. One is trying to one up the other. And I think game recognizes game, as they would say. So she knows that Summer still wants Kyle. And Summer knows that getting Victor's approval is going to be a huge thing for Claire. And the fact that she has that one up over on Claire, I think is a big deal for Summer. So they're slowly competing to keep Kyle's affection or try to get a hold of Kyle in some way.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, it would work to Claire's benefit for her to say, you know what, I don't care that Victor doesn't approve of me and Kyle. Kyle still wants to be with me regardless. So we're gonna go on about our business. Victor can be upset if he wants to be, but this is who I'm dating. And he's just going to have to deal with it instead of her trying to prove a point to whoever, to Summer or Victor or whoever she wants to prove that point to. Like, that's working against her, in my opinion, because Summer sees that it bothers her.
Right.
I think it will bother Summer a lot more if Claire said that she just didn't care. She's just going to do what she wants to do, regardless of what Victor says.
I mean, here's the other thing about Victor. He's making Claire out to be this shrinking violet. And it's like, you do realize this chick got a dark side in her. She's not some girl who is just oblivious to the world. Now, I know the backstory of her being under Jordan, but the girl also went away to college, so she wasn't that locked up in a basement somewhere for the last 28 years.
Yeah, and she survived in Genoa City for how many months before it was revealed that she was Jordan's niece.
Right. She had a whole plan put together with her aunt. And then she tried to create that whole plan to take out her aunt, whether her mom or her grandmom will go along with it. Do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. She's not a shrinking violet. They hurt my poor little sweet granddaughter. I'm like, dude, stop.
Yeah, but you know, Victoria and Nikki treat her like that too.
Yeah.
All of them do.
I was about to say, that's the narrative that has been about Claire, because it was like last year we were saying, like, is this a grown woman or is this a teenage child? It seemed like Daniel's daughter was acting like a grown woman more than Claire was, because this girl had this dialogue that she's never had a chance to ride a pony. She didn't know, what her favorite fruits were. She was completely brainwashed. She missed out on like a normal childhood. So that is the narrative that has, been written for Claire. Which is crazy.
Which was dumb right, because when she came to town, she was this businesswoman. And then they dumbed her down or aged her backwards for the better of 2024, and then turn around and do all this nonsensical BS. So, yeah, go ahead.
Everybody coddles her.
Mm-hmm.
And she allows it, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but here's the other thing about Summer that I did not like, and this whole approach with them looking for Phyllis, the way she talked to Chance.
Oh, yes. That pissed me off.
I couldn't believe she said that to that man. You owe me this because of how you treated my brother. That man was doing his job.
Right. Doing his job based on evidence that Sharon planted. So it's not like he was just pulling random stuff out of the sky. Like, Sharon planted that evidence in Daniel's apartment, so he couldn't just ignore it. He did what he was supposed to do.
Right. I'm looking at Chance like, don't do her no favors. Tell her to go look for her own mama.
Right.
That was so disrespectful for her to do that, but it also goes to show that she does not love this man, never loved this man. And he was a fill-in until she's able to get with Kyle. So I think she even had a conversation with Daniel, and I appreciate Daniel for trying to call her out. Like, why are you jealous?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, why are you so concerned with what Kyle has going on if he has completely moved on? He was even asking, like, are you even happy with Chance?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the first time she's been called out on it, though. Chance has called her out 2 or 3 times about acting jealous.
Exactly. Her mama to everybody, even Nick, actually. Everyone has called her out on her being jealous, and she keeps passing it off like, no, it's nothing. Like, whatever happens to Kyle, and if he's upset, it's going to upset Harrison. Mm-hmm. She loves using this boy as a crutch. Same way she did with that whole lawsuit, the custody lawsuit. They're like, I don't want him near Audra. Like, she's a bad influence on Kyle. Once again, she has nothing to do with what Kyle has going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her logic is the fact that if something happened with Kyle and Claire, that it's going to affect Harrison. It's like, what you think? Kyle going to fall out in the middle of the floor? He going to be sliding down the wall or something? I mean,
right.
Crashing out? No.
And it's like, to a degree, does it really affect the kid? Unless the kid is put in danger, like if he just, like what happened when Jordan got a hold of him. Like, I can understand that. Mm-hmm. But this kid is not any danger. He happy to make cookies with Miss Martinez and do his science projects with his family. This boy is happy. He's fine. Mm-hmm. And whatever emotions that Kyle has nothing to do with her. And I'm glad that Daniel called her out. Like, if you're jealous, just say you're jealous.
Right.
Instead of trying to put it on Harrison.
Yeah. If you want this man back, just say you want this man back.
Mm-hmm. She was driving me nuts sitting at the table, staring at them. And it's like, could you be any more pathetic right now, Summer?
Right.
And obvious.
And obvious, exactly. I mean, and I mean the way she was eyeballing them so hard, she could burn a hole in somebody's back. It was. I'm
It
like,
was to
girl, go ahead.
it was to the point Daniel said, "Look, let's go to a different restaurant since you're so occupied."
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but I did not like how she talked to Chance. I was like, okay, you know what? I wouldn't ask her out on another date. Don't ask her
Yeah.
out no more.
And he didn't even bother contacting her when it came to Phyllis. He kept contacting Daniel. So it's clear they have no relationship. In my opinion, I don't think they have any relationship at all.
That's
Yeah,
so.
which is weird because the last scene that they had together, they had that dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed like they worked things out, or that they were working towards working things out. They
Right.
sat at the table, they were, holding hands or whatever. She apologized to him for how she acted, and then we get this scene where she is back to, well, you can make it up to us for the way you treated Daniel. And it's like, well, wait a minute. In the scene that you guys had 3 weeks ago, you were apologizing to how you treated him, but now you're back
Exactly.
to blaming him again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then telling Daniel that she didn't see a way to forgive him, or she didn't see how she could forgive him for the way that he treated him. And Daniel was like, "I'm over it. I don't understand why you aren't." Like,
Right.
Yeah.
the writing has been so back and forth on her and Chance is just ridiculous. So, but clearly we see what they're doing. Like, they're putting her all the way in the middle of this stuff with Claire and Kyle. So, of course, they had to create that rift again where Chance was concerned.
Yeah.
You know,
Sherelle Rail Jefferson says Summer gives her a headache.
you know, there was a funny moment from Daniel, and he kept referencing Summer being just like her mother. And people would always say Phyllis is a headache. This right here, she was definitely pulling out a lot of Phyllis antics, being obsessed, being, overly concerned where it doesn't serve her. So I can see why Sherelle the Summer would give you a headache. She's been giving me a headache because she had this fine, delicious, tall drink of water she don't want.
What a waste of a storyline. They spent the end of 2023 having Summer break up the relationship with Sharon and Chance. Well, I mean, it probably needed to be. But the thing is, they went through all of that. Him, being in the hospital, and she was there, only to have them together for a few months with that crazy shower scene where nobody got wet. And then they're broken up. And they put him on recurring status for a few months. And now he's back, not at Chancellor, but on the police force. And they go on one date. Oh, maybe we'll fix things. And then now she's talking crazy to him. I'm like, why did y'all mess that up?
Yeah, because I will always agree that they built them up perfectly. They didn't have Summer doing all these crazy antics to get him to break up with Sharon. There was no trickery. There was nothing behind it. And she, as a matter of fact, she would turn down some of the offers that he extended to her, like as far as hanging out, because she knew how she felt about him. So she stayed respectful through that whole time that he was with Sharon. And then, like you said, they finally put them together, and then bam, we never see them in scenes anymore.
Right.
It's like, what was the point of all of that? I'll never understand it. Understand it.
What you think, Bree?
It's a waste, but I feel like the end game will always be Summer and Kyle. So no matter who they get with, they can seem like they're committed elsewhere, but we know how it ends. And actually, Lala DeWill, that's actually a new name I haven't seen before. Hi, Lala. She says she thinks Summer's going to ask Victor for help to break up Claire and Kyle. Victor won't need any help. She won't have to even worry about even doing that. Victor's going to go rogue on his own to do that. But I wouldn't put it past this girl to be sneaky to do that, because that's the result that she wants. I don't think
here's
she's
the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, like, I don't think she's ever put any real effort into Chance. They haven't even said "I love you" yet after a year.
And the thing is that Kyle isn't even conflicted right now on any feelings about Summer. So it's not like he's sitting back and, I don't know,
Waffling.
giving Summer these longing looks when she, leaves the coffee house, or when she's not looking at him and he's looking at her, or like there's none of that with him. So even if Kyle and Claire break up, okay, what now? Because he doesn't give two craps about Summer right now, at least not in that way. There's like literally been no indication, no sign of him even considering wanting to be with her. So
But we've seen this.
it's so stupid that they would jump from, if that's what they do, that they would jump from him having no interest in getting back with Summer, and then bam, all of a sudden he wants to get back with Summer. Like no build up to it, no nothing. Just suddenly I want to be with Summer again. It's stupid.
I mean, we've seen this before though, when he was with Lola, where he was fully committed, fully interested in Lola. They even got married, and then he was even talking about having lingering feelings for Summer. And I think Victor has always hit it on the head. They've had years of dealing with each other, and on top of that, they share a child. So it's not to say that he has completely packed up all of his feelings for Summer. He's just occupying his time with Claire. And I think Summer knows that. I think Victor also knows
Wait
that.
a minute, Bree. So are you thinking that he's still into Summer, but he's just using Claire as a placeholder?
I wouldn't say that. I don't think that his feelings are completely like completely gone when it comes to Summer. I think that how their marriage ended was very messy. He felt that his wife was more loyal to her mother than him, and that resulted in cheating, and how that went down. Mm-hmm. But they both were in love and they were happy with each other before they allowed their mothers to kind of come into their marriage, and basically they had to choose sides at that point. I don't think they fully resolved their marriage, but I think with enough time passing, and he, was lonely after Audra had left his bed sheets, there comes Claire. And I think that they have a genuine bond, and I think they have a cute little relationship, but I don't think that it's going to be something that will be what he truly wants. And I think eventually we'll get there, but I don't think this whole thing with Claire is really going to last. Well, nothing on the show is ever going to last that long, but I don't think that's something that I can see him going the long haul with and then having a baby or anything like that.
Well, if he's got genuine, I guess, hidden feelings or unresolved feelings for Summer, he's doing a great job of hiding it, because he ain't gave that girl a thought since they got divorced or since they separated, really.
Yeah. Well, we also, going back to the Victor thing, there was another person that came into his orbit, which was Lily. And so they ran into each other as society, and of course, here we go, Mr. and Mrs. Newman trying to play nice. Lily wasn't feeling it, but she had the bright idea to use Victor for information to get something out of him. And I'm like, why would you tell him anything?
I know. I rolled my eyes.
I was like, why did they do that? She could have stood firm and just like, I ain't trying to hear nothing the two of you have to say. But no, she still decided that she want to get in bed with a conversation on using Victor for information, knowing now Victor's in her business.
And I'm like, isn't your brother a billionaire? with money and connections, and can, dig deeper for you? Like, I don't understand. That was so random and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was very annoying.
Yeah.
Like, why are you pulling this man back into you guys' business,
right,
and everything that's going on? especially considering it's personal family business. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why they keep running back to that man, especially after what they did to her.
Right.
Mr. Dean.
Yeah. There is no reason that, like you said, Bree, your brother's a billionaire. He should have just as many resources as anybody in town. But you decide to go to the one man who played you just 3 months ago.
Right. And he, even when they went to society, he's like, aren't you happy being back with your family? And granted, I was with Lily, especially when she told Nikki off. I was good with that, especially when Nikki said, like, you're not over this yet.
Mm-hmm.
The way she told them off, I was with her. But the fact that you go to Victor, the very same person you're still upset with, why? And for what? You could have went to your brother. Your brother knows more about the situation than Victor does.
Exactly. Yeah.
And can keep discretion. And can look out for the family's best interest just like you are. For whatever reason, she has an issue with trusting her brother when it comes to certain things.
And I mean, this man is all up in her business. You gonna do business with him? Oh, it's something personal. Oh, what's going on? And she's like, don't worry about it. I just need that information. Thank you. And sure enough, he's digging.
Yeah.
But
and
not.
I'm like, you just
go ahead. What you say?
And now this man is interested into knowing what's going on with Damian now. So you just put a whole spotlight on your family for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what we did find out is that he took over some companies, but they don't know where he got the money from. Now, that's going to be interesting. Where you get that money from? You know, because they said that he was originally, before he bought those companies or when he left home or whatever, that he didn't have that kind of money. So
I got a theory. Especially since, like, they touched on it, I think maybe last week or maybe the week before that, when it came to Holden and Audra. I'm wondering if Tucker was putting money into that man's pocket.
That's interesting. Could be.
Because Holden and Audra's connection is Tucker. Mm-hmm. And Holden and Damian are best friends. It wouldn't be so far-fetched for Damian and Tucker to have a connection too.
What is it? Monte Cristo, I think the name of the company is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, I do see a few comments in the comment section about this storyline because it's a mixed thing. A lot of people there's some folks that's not happy about the fact on how Damian spoke to Amy. And then there are some other people that understand why he's upset. Because, I mean, there's a lot going on in that situation. However, the connection with Lily is what prompted this man to stay. So, he was on his way back to L.A. until he ran into Lily over at Society. And then decided that, you know, he was going to stick around town to try to figure out who she was. And then Lily's pretty much said, oh, yeah, you know, you're Damian, and I heard about you and your mom, and you need to go straighten that out if you want to have a conversation with me. And that's the only, do you think that's the only reason why he's talking to his mama?
Yes. I think, especially since Lily grilled this man at Crimson Lights, and he really wants that date apparently with Lily. That was his only motivation, which is kind of sad. Because even regardless of your feelings, you know, you should want to make an effort to make amends. You shouldn't be prompted by going on a date with some woman to do that. But whatever works, I guess, because he finally was able to tell Amy why he left. And the background on all of that is kind of sketchy to me. Like, I'm confused when they had that dialogue. But when it comes to Damian and Lily, I mean, if that motivates him to go see his mom and to try to do right. I mean, we gotta take what we can get, but it's still wrong. He should
Well,
have that
Nate is
motivation for himself.
absolutely loving it on Monday. The fact that Lily is the motivation behind keeping him in town. So.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
It's still wrong to me. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I think there's, in my opinion, with those two, there's some accountability on both sides. And the thing is, do I think he need to be disrespectful? No. I mean, I understand why he upset. I also understand that Amy shouldn't be talked to like the way he was. But the thing is that you lied to three people: the biological, the one who thought they was the father, and the son. And you kept that paternity a secret, and I'm assuming this man is 40 some years old, for 40 years. And then you drop this bombshell at the end of your life. And at the flip side, because we got more dialogue with this whole thing on why Damian was upset with his mother, because he thought that she wasn't around much until she revealed that they didn't have any insurance money and she had to work two jobs, and medical bills are expensive. So she had to, pay for all of that. And so they got a little bit of clarity. But, then Nate is a part of this now, because now Nate realizes he has a whole brother. So, in my opinion, there's some accountability to go around.
Yeah. And there were some certain parts of the dialogue with Amy, well, all of them really, that I was a little confused by. So Damian left when he was a teenager?
He said he was just a kid. Now, whatever that means.
Right, because when Amy first came along, she said it was a few years since she spoke to her son.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So either he's been gone for 2 decades or maybe
years.
longer, or just a few years. It's like, which is it? And
you think that's a writer's flaw or something else to
yes, I do. And I also think it's a writer's flaw when Nate said that Amy filled in all the gaps in regards to his father, and he feels complete with the information she provided him. I'm like, when Amy first came along, she said they were high school sweethearts, and they broke up before they graduated, or they were teenage, puppy dog love or whatever. And then she had moved on to the man who raised Damian. So, and on top of that, Olivia was married to his daddy for years. So how could your mama not fill in the gaps, but Amy was able to fill the gaps for you?
I don't know. I think they threw this all together. They pulled something out of the history books or out of the crates to bring something forward, to obviously bring these characters in. What do you think, Keish? Is she still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. What do you think about all of that?
I think it's soap writers doing what they do best and forgetting some of the stuff that they've written as far as the timeline of when he and Amy lost touch with each other. Because I thought at one point Amy told Nate that he was going to school to be a doctor, and then after his father passed, things just fell apart, and I thought that he had dropped out of college or something like that. So, I mean, I guess you can drop out of college at 19, but I always thought that he was a little bit older when him and Amy fell out, like in his his early 20s or something.
Yeah,
and not a kid.
Like right, and they made it seem like it was just a few years. Because I'm like, and then if we go back to the evidence, well, not the evidence, but the DNA stuff that she provided, she had a piece of this man's hair in the birth certificate.
Exactly. So if this was when he was a kid, you kept blocks of, I guess you could, but
yeah,
you're
there's
talking
some people
about 20 years of hair. I do know that people tend to keep stuff like that, but
And
it's just the dialogue is just all over the place.
yeah, there's some people that have those baby books and will keep a. My sister has it for all of her kids, a lock of their hair from their first haircut
Oh
in their
wow.
little baby book. So that's when she said that. That was the first thing I thought of. So I didn't think it was that weird, but I don't know.
I guess
It's
what makes it weird is how you go from a few years to him saying it was a kid and then the high school
Yeah,
sweetheart thing, and it's like, make up your mind. Which is it?
right, and that was in like the that piece of hair was in mint condition. So you mean to tell me this woman hasn't? It wasn't a music reference, y'all, but this woman hasn't seen her child in almost 20 something years.
Yeah.
Hasn't even made the effort to look. It took her having that piece of hair and his birth certificate and go to Nate to help her find him. But in 20 years, you haven't even thought to call the police. None of the people that you knew were in Genoa City. Paul, even within a 20-year period, especially when he was working for the police department, like this, and you're the daughter of a police chief. Like the storyline itself is just a bit messy. They're trying to pull from like an old storyline, which I get it. I understand this is where we had to get to introduce Damian. We get it, but it's just a bit hard to follow. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, they drug it out since December. And then we saw the Holden guy, the first week of January. And then they took a break from it with the whole Ian and Jordan thing for February sweeps coming up at the end of January. And then they bring all this back and then they throw it all up together like a big ball of wax. And now it doesn't make any sense. That's why, I don't know what's going to happen to Amy at this point, because now Nate is talking about getting second opinions and she agreed to it and all this kind of stuff. So are we keeping Amy around now? Because there's a spoiler next week that's saying Damian's going to set up shop in Genoa City. So we know he's going to be here for a while.
Yeah, I think the actor's on contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But that would be good. But I'm just hoping that he's not just doing it just for Lily. I have to say that, look, we want Lily to have a man. We finally got her one, thank God. But I don't want Damian to just stick around just for her.
I don't
get
care.
To know your brother.
I just want to see it. Whatever they decide to do with Amy and Damian, or even Damian and Nate with the brotherhood or whatever, okay, fine. I'm curious to see this whole chemistry, and they better not mess it up. I don't want no let's go lay down and then we wake up the next morning. I want to see some stuff. Take his shirt off. Do we got any muscles under there? Yeah.
He looks like he does.
He got muscles. He got tattoos. He has a delicious looking.
Girl, stop it.
They did right with this casting, both Holden and Damian. Yes,
I have a feeling. See, I gotta give Audra kudos and spoiler alert for at least letting Nate go and know what's happening with Holden on Monday. But Holden ain't so bad himself. And I have a feeling that those two, Audra and Holden, is going to end up somewhere.
They're clearly alluding to it.
Yep.
I've seen some people say they would rather see Damian with Phyllis and Holden with Lily.
No.
Yes. Thank you. I thought I was the only person who read that.
Why?
I don't know.
Let her go run cuckoo crazy and get with Billy. Phyllis is a hot mess.
I don't want her with Billy either, though.
but at Crimson Lights, did it look like Lily was immediately attracted or excited when she saw Holden?
Lily?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Watch that scene again. The way she sparked up when she saw Holden is a whole other thing. But then she turned it back around to Damian. But I wouldn't mind her with Damian or Holden, to be honest. Either
Listen,
which way, but
Nate is about to be out. Damien gonna end up with his sister, well, his cousin. I'm sorry, and Holden gonna end up with his girlfriend. So,
well deserved for what he did to Elena. Which, speaking of which, they made that whole announcement of this girl coming back, and she did like 1 or 2 episodes months back.
And that was it.
Like, where is Elena? Because I wouldn't mind Elena also with Holden. I'm like, they need to keep both of these men around so we can look at them.
And then we had this one other storyline, which Diane trying to decorate that house, and we got some type of love scene between Jack and Diane, which was a snooze fest. So
they had nothing to really fight about. They were fighting about wall patterns and
demolitions and all type of stuff.
And I'm like, they're happy. We get it. They're really reaching for them to have some sort of drama, and then all of a sudden Jack is okay with the renovations. I'm like, we could have had that wrapped up in one episode.
Well, they're about to have more drama with Victor, aren't they?
Yes. I was just going to say that, Keish, because this man is not happy that they are happy. All because he's still tripping over trying to blame Jack for almost taking Nikki's life in that hotel room. Nikki played both of them.
Yeah, and she admitted it to Jack. I do not... Victor, oh my goodness, this is the most insecure man in the world.
Well, narcissists usually are. If the attention is not on them, especially your significant others with your arch enemy in a hotel room. Yeah, and the thing is that Nikki called the shots, and I was saying that in 2023. She called the shots between both those men, and they just went along with it. And now Victor's mad. You chose to go along with it because she was like, I need him as my sponsor for my sobriety. And you was like, okay.
And he was an Uber driver. He said that he would be there for her at any given night, any call, anything. And we were so mad at Jack for that. Like, you have a whole wife, and you trying to be there for this woman, and she had a whole husband.
Right. Diane was throwing some shots from the bar, though. Yep.
And then you see the facial expressions from Nikki. I was like, what? Diane didn't tell a lie. She didn't. She did not. But
yeah, she kind of like she got over it because she back on track. But Victor, oh yeah, he butthurt.
For decades, apparently. He can't get over nothing.
They had a whole truce. They had a whole truce for the last, 3-4 years? Until this.
Yeah.
And now he wants to destroy them from the inside out. And Michael is willing to put 3 more. 3 more.
My goodness.
Into Bo to undermine that company, even though he don't want to do it, but he has to do it because he's Victor's lackey.
Yeah. You guys are hilarious in the comment section. I'm reading this. Jenna said Diane and Jack are like taking a sedative.
Wait a minute, Jenna. You had been saying for the last 2.5 years that Diane is up to something. You and Trish. And now she's a snooze fest.
You said Diane makes Jack look old. She said they put us to sleep.
Dang. I mean,
I have come around in the last year of liking Diane and Jack together.
Yeah, I like them two together. They need to be settled somewhere.
Yeah, never thought I would ever say that when Diane first joined the show. But I actually don't mind them together now.
Yep. So.
In TA, yes, thank you. She said Lily looked excited talking to both of the men, and she was probably just excited to have options. When has Lily had options?
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta say, he was intentional. He said, "You really want to know why I stay here? Because you knocked me off my feet." I'm like,
Ooh.
okay, that's
Did he?
intentional. He did. You didn't hear him say that over at Crimson Lights?
Yes, he did. And the way that she looked, she's like, "Oh, this is new." I
Right.
mean,
I was like, that turned my head. I'm like, okay, he wanted to know intentions. I'm here because of you. Girl, please don't let that slide by.
and he's
Mm-mm.
like, "Well, I'll tell you what happened with my mother over dinner." She's like, "Okay, well, you do that."
Bree, you crazy. Yeah, well,
Look,
we know where them two gonna end up. Just make it good. We need. I think I have wishful thinking. I need another dope session, but we're not gonna get that
oh,
anytime soon.
you know what? It's okay because Beyond the Gate starts next
Oh, they got
week.
plenty over there.
Oh yes, we'll be fine. It's a matter of Y&R catching up.
Well, the way that everything is look like both shows are trying to catch up. I'm just saying.
With the extra love scenes, I was like, what happened
Hmm.
all of 2024? But okay.
Yeah. Hmm. All right, y'all got anything else on YNR? And Keish, how much more time you got? I know you had about an hour.
I still have some time.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna let you get your words in first because I know you have something to say.
Oh no, you don't have to. Don't adjust anything for me. Just go on as business as usual.
Okay, all right. Okay, so how many people we got in the chat, Bree?
You got 140 in the chat,
Ooh,
guys.
good grief. Good grief. Yeah, everybody waiting on this one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, make sure
Yeah.
you guys hit that like button. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. She said 140. Can we get it up to what? About 110 likes? Would that be
Yeah, we
fine?
got 64 likes, y'all.
Yeah, so see if we can get it up to 100 likes. I appreciate you. Likes are free. It only take a second to push the little like button. And yeah, let the algorithm know that y'all enjoying this content. Also follow on other platforms, Instagram, X. We have a Facebook group as well, and it's a lot of conversations, a lot of sharing, updates on different things. I post a lot of stuff from the Beyond the Gates into the group. Also on TikTok, and the spoilers are out on the blog, which is on Medium. So you can also go in those areas, just type in Soap Corner Talk, and you should be able to find those platforms. Let's see, anything else? I think that's about it. And again, next week we will be having the premiere the first week of the gate, so we will be adding that to the conversation next Friday. So for all you guys who are excited about it, I know a lot of people have been asking over the past year, are we going to cover it? Yes, we are. So
We can't wait. Oh, I cannot wait.
can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I got an extra hour of soaps from 1 to 2 p.m. my time. So yeah, from
I
11.
still can't get over the 27 sets.
Girl,
27.
I mean, and the stylists, the designer clothes. I mean, they came out with all the stops.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some bold business. I'm going to do the summary for this past week, and then we'll break down the storyline. So, for Bold and the Beautiful for the week of the 17th through the 21st, Ridge and Carter have it out over Hope, who walks in on an unexpected scene. Hope confronts Ridge, and Brooke asks her ex to come home. Finn reaches a decision, and Hope put all her cards on the table with Carter. Finn rejects Poppy's pleas to keep their secret, and Liam opens up to Steffy. Remy meets Luna, and Steffy is floored to learn that Poppy slept with Finn. Where y'all want to start? Yeah, we got a couple of moving parts this past week.
We can probably, I guess, Luna and her shenanigans in the living room again, and then I guess Remy,
I
who
don't
served.
understand how a billionaire's mansion don't have the whole air. Don't they have generators or something?
You would think so.
This man has money. You can't find not one
Right.
AC guy in California, and you're rich.
Girl, that's sloppy writing only to bring Remy. Who knew Remy was a HVAC guy?
Right.
And he didn't even say he was. He said, "Oh, I'm from Texas. We know about ACs."
So I'm guessing that Remy's going to start doing stuff around Bill's house for him now, and that's how him and Luna are going to start interacting.
Girl, she ran into him today.
Yeah,
What you
but
mean?
I feel like this is going to be like Bill is going to hire him to be like the handyman around the house. That way, they can have more scenes with Luna and Remy, because that'll be the only way that he can start getting involved with Luna is to be around her, and the only way he can do that is if he's at Bill. So the way Sheila was talking was as if kind of like, hey, this is your opportunity to make some money, like let Bill hire you to do this, and then I bet he's gonna have him do more stuff around the house.
Do you think that boy know how to hook up a AC in a big old mansion like that? Bill
Bill Bill will say that he can. I mean, Brad Bill will say that he can. Just to fit the narrative.
Right, miraculously. Oh, we got air.
Mm-hmm. And he'll find something else around the house that Remy can fix. I'm the nickname, or not the nickname, the name that Sheila just pulled out of thin air, though. Dario.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you came up with?
Dario.
Yeah. You know what's miraculous is the time that he served for what he did to Elektra.
Yeah, he was in jail for about, what,
3 weeks?
Month and a half?
Was it a month and a half? Yeah, something like that.
And that's time served, apparently. Okay.
And, I mean, really, in the Bolt universe, a month and a half is really maybe a week.
Right. Because we all know that Luna's about to get out of this whole thing. I don't know how. But she's another one that's not going to spend 2 life sentences somewhere.
I want somebody, when all of this comes out, I want someone to ask Bill, what's going to happen when you eventually pass away? Like, what was the plan?
That was a conversation I had last week on the live. I said the same thing, Keish.
This is the dumbest. This was, in my opinion, this was even stupider than the way Sheila got out of jail.
Yeah. They wanted Lisa Yamada back so bad, they just couldn't figure out how to write her out of the stupid corner that they put her in.
Yeah, that's what Bill does. He does this stupid idiot. He goes too far and then has to do some idiotic thing to excuse getting somebody out of the trouble they're in.
Go ahead, Bree.
Yeah. And I don't blame them for wanting the girl back. She's a talented actress, absolutely. But make it make sense, writer. Mm-hmm. Because, for one, this girl's acting extra goofy. Bill told her to act scarce and go to your room. She see Remy, she want to pop up out like a child. Hi.
Did the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm.
She's been hard-headed ever since she's been out. This man keeps telling her, go to your room. She just lurking behind the plants and the vases in the fireplace and everything, just listening to people's conversations. And I'm like, what is wrong with your room? You keep saying that any place, like his mansion is better than going to jail. I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. So there's no TV. Like, you can't go paint your nails in your room. You can't just sit still. And Bill thought this was a good idea.
Yeah. He had to know that this wasn't going to work. I mean, you tell her to go hide and she's supposed to go listen. That girl is strolling through that front room eating bonbons, laying on the couch, reading magazines. Anybody could come up in that house.
Right.
Yeah.
It just
And
didn't make any sense. It was delusional for him to even think that he could just hide this girl in his house for 2 life sentences.
Basically forever.
Right.
Like, if he gonna do it, then do it. Why are you hiding her from everybody?
yeah, if you feel justified because people are already questioning, Finn keeps calling the prison and said like, hey, where is Luna at? He still hasn't come up with a good excuse for that yet. Yeah. He's making up excuses as he goes whenever he talks to both of his sons. And if there's any, and I think he also made up some excuse when he talked to Poppy too.
Okay. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. No, I was going to say somebody need to educate me about LA weather in February. Somebody in the chat, Frenchie, said who uses AC in February. Now I know that's LA, but does it get that hot in February?
And they said a heat wave too,
right? They acting like it was July or something.
Unless they're trying to make a reference to what actually happened in California, but still, once again, like whether it's a heat wave or whatever the case is, you are a billionaire. You can't airlift an AC at someone who's certified to do the job, and you got the money. You paid $500 to this boy who said, "Oh, I'm from Texas. Yeah, we know about AC."
That's it.
Mm-hmm. that was the qualifications that matter. If that were the case, I would have been like, "Look, I'll go on YouTube. You pay me the $500 for an hour of my time, and when I'm finished, I'm gonna collect on the extra hours to fix your AC." Because you don't check the background of this boy. You're trying to tell this boy discretion is important.
Well, here's my thing, Bree, is that Remy actually thought that he was going to go get his job back. You had deep fakes plastered all over the apartment wall that dude gave you an apartment. You had deep fakes all over the wall. You think they're going to want you to come work back there? He actually thought that he could get his job back.
Well, Sheila would have given it back to him, but she didn't.
Yeah. I mean, well, both Sheila and Deacon really have no reason to judge, given their history. But, I mean, if he gave Sheila a chance, given what she has done over the years, give Remy his job back. I mean, if he served his time, I mean, it is what it is. But let him have his position back. If he's looking to work, let him work then. I mean, he went to great lengths to get Sheila out.
And Deacon said he wanted to use his restaurant as a second chance for people like him. So
there you go.
Yep. Well, let's see. So at this point with Remy, now he's working there. We'll see. I guess, like you said, he's going to miraculously fix the AC, and then he'll keep him around somewhere.
On YouTube University.
Mm-hmm. YouTube University. That's funny. But then, I mean, this whole thing with Poppy trying to stop Finn, and then Poppy trying to talk to Lee, and Lee is just being so nice to her.
I feel so bad for her.
Poppy trying to cover her ass. She don't want her sister to find out. That's what she's concerned about.
And I'm like, you realize you in your sister's office. You're in her domain. So as soon as she finds out what you did, like, you leave her with all of like the scalpels and the medication to sedate you. Like, it's not the best place for you to be at. And you keep showing up over at both Finn and Lee's job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that Finn want to get this off his chest. And Poppy, on the other hand, she don't say nothing. You don't have to. And I'm like, you gonna put him in the same situation that you've been lying for the last 20 years. Now, she said she wasn't even sure. Do you believe that?
I do think that she didn't know or wasn't sure. I I do believe her when she says that, because she told him, she was like, it could have been you, it could have been Bill, Tom, or it could have been somebody else.
Good grief. Somebody, who was that? Jasmine called her 304 in the chat.
But she was proud of it too when she was talking to Finn. I think she knew, because she chose to stay away from her family to raise Luna. And it's like there was like moments, and this is also another thing with the writing, where either Finn is close with Luna and Poppy, and in moments where they say that, oh, there was so much time, so many years apart where they haven't seen each other, so they need to make up their mind. But I think she knew. That's why she kept Luna away from Finn for a certain period of time. Maybe, I don't know, she thought maybe certain features might come out that might be recognizable, or she didn't want those two to get close or feel like some sort of like family connection. But I think this woman knew. I mean, granted, she had ran through a whole football field, according to her. But I think in the back of her mind, I think she knew.
How could she, though? If she knew that she slept with multiple men that week unprotected, how would she be able to pinpoint that it was Finn? All she would know was that it's a possibility that it was him.
But if she already did that process of elimination, because she said it was never Bill. She said she knew it wasn't going to be Bill. She kept swearing up and down it wasn't Tom. She said that she was sleeping around with a bunch of different people, but she made a conscious decision to stay away from her family as a single mom.
Yeah, because she knew he was an option.
And the fact that Lee didn't like her at the time. Remember, the first dialogue was her being jealous that she had a kid and she didn't.
Yeah.
The stories is just, again, this is a situation where they keep flip-flopping.
Right. And that's the biggest problem. Is that they kept going back and forth on the history of Finn, Poppy, and Luna. Like you said, at one point, Luna and Finn both said that they were close, and then we heard Finn say that the week that they revealed it, we heard Finn say that he didn't see Luna that often. But then we also heard Finn say during the whole cage incident, I know my cousin better than anybody, or I forget how he worded it, but basically alluded to how well he knows Luna when he was trying to figure out what was going on with Steffy, and he thought that Luna had done something. And he's like, I know my cousin. I know her better than anybody, or something like that. So it's like...
There was a specific scene, I think you posted us in our group chat, Keish, where RJ and Luna and Steffy and Finn, they were bonding, and they said that Finn and Luna were close, and that she was scared. Was it of frogs, toads, or fish, or something? It was one of those. He took her
to the aquarium, and then after they went to the aquarium, they went to a seafood restaurant, and it scared her because she had just seen fish or whatever, and now she was, I guess they were eating seafood or something like that.
So it's like they have moments where they bond and eat, and I think they also talked about like how they would hang out at the beach or something together, or play together over in San Francisco or something.
He would climb trees, and she thought that he was cool because he was able to climb trees or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like either you guys were close or you guys were not.
Right.
Which is it?
Yeah, I think we need to ask Bradley Bell.
They don't know what they want.
So I just want this to come on out and let's get the explosion. This thing been dragging on, and especially this whole thing with Luna being at Bill's house where they trauma bonded for a month over their moms. It's like, can we just please move on?
That all comes out next week.
Yes, because look like according to that promo, Finn will be showing up over there, and Luna. Why is Luna answering the door when she's supposed to be?
That's what I said. Like, what would possess you to answer the front door when you're supposed to be hidden away from everybody?
Right. Anybody. That could have been Katie. That could have been Brooke, Liam. Could have been
also,
Steffy.
There's no peephole.
Mm-hmm. She just
No
opened the door.
people. Hard-headed. Just hard-headed. Go to your room.
But you know what? That's Bill's fault. He was stupid to think that this thing, she was just going to be hiding in the basement somewhere.
Right.
I mean, man. Anyway, we got to talk about Little Puke.
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
How everybody forgot his birthday.
Yeah.
Except for
Yeah,
Wyatt.
oh, poor little Tink Tink.
Oh,
Let me leave
gosh.
Liam alone. He was in a vulnerable state. He feels so bad. He's like, well, Hope is with Carter, and you're with Finn. And I
And how
know this is
pathetic was
my
that?
fault.
How pathetic was that? The reason why you're depressed right now is because both of your ex-wives are
With other
unavailable to
men.
you.
Right.
He's mad. He's not getting any. Like
Right.
I had no women. No women that are obsessed with
Where's
me now.
Ivy?
Right, go find
Right.
Ivy. She would jump on it in a second.
She was kissing on him last May.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what Gail has said. Where is Ivy? She disappeared. So she was even there for the jewelry launch, which I know we'll get to.
Mhm.
But there's a woman who was very interested in this man last year,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where Steffi had to insert herself for absolutely no reason
Mm-hmm.
and stop the flirtation between the two of them. But she's been in town for several months. You mean to tell me? Like, I would have been perfectly fine if they had, like, wrote a storyline to where Ivy and Liam were seeing each other secretly.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have been
And then-
okay with that. She won't
Yeah, like
let
she
her
could have
have
mentioned
him.
him. She could have mentioned him in a convo with Electra, and he could have mentioned her in his convos with Bill. Like something.
Yeah.
We got nothing. We haven't even seen those two in a scene since she been back.
Mm-mm.
You had that
But-
girl on there for one day in May of 2024, and she kissed this man at Il Giardino, and now you're back in town and you ain't even thinking about Liam now?
Right.
Yeah. And he just lonely, just Eeyore. Oh. No one wants me. They're
Yeah.
not obsessed with me anymore. I lost it.
Girl, he said
Completely.
his life sucks. I was like, wow.
That's why I'm saying, like, Liam just needs a full reset with a. They need to cast a woman for him. Scott Clifton deserves to have a new love interest. He's been on long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he deserves a new love interest, because putting him, even if they were, flirting with the idea of putting him back with Hope, to me, I feel like both of those characters have outgrown Liam, and I feel like Liam has outgrown them, even though they won't show the growth with Liam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like they did for Steffi, they need to do the same thing for Liam, and they need to cast a new woman for him and let him start over. Because I won't take him serious with neither Hope or Steffi.
Mm-hmm. Bree, you had an interesting point that you brought up in the group chat, and
Mm-hmm.
you were talking about how Liam is in this state because his wife cheated on him. Remember you were
Yeah.
saying that?
This man, he made a choice. It was Hope. When they got Beth back, he was happily married, and they had them married for the time span of when Beth was a baby up until that girl's 7th or 8th birthday, however that girl is. So they were married for a good amount of years. And now, granted, yes, he slept with Steffi. They had the paternity thing, whatever. But Hope still took his behind back, and they were happy. And it was up until she started to have attraction to Thomas, and she stepped outside of her marriage. But that man had made a choice that it was her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I understand this man was waffling for a better part of a decade, even though it takes two to tango, and these women made a choice and a decision to be waffled.
Mm-hmm.
This man had still made a choice to raise Beth with Hope, and they were married for a good amount of time. So it's not that he's in this position by his own choice to leave Hope. He got cheated on, and he couldn't handle the fact that Thomas was doing the damn thing, and he knew he couldn't compete. So that's and Hope got tired of whatever lame moves that he was doing in the sheets, to the point where the girl was thinking about Thomas while they were getting it together. I feel so bad for Eeyore. I mean, he wanted to be with that woman. He was with her for almost a decade.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just is what it is. But I feel bad and I don't feel bad, because this man is a billionaire's son. He could easily, make him, and that would be a great storyline. Make him a playboy. Make him a full-on playboy.
Well, Steffy asked him, "Are you dating anybody?" He was like, "Yeah, well, that's not going well." I'm like, what happened?
He said he was reading books. He was going through the encyclopedias. He wants to get a parrot. Like, just very lame. And I'm like, you are not living up to the Spencer name at all. You are your daddy, to be honest. So
yeah, because he had nobody in a while either, except for what, Poppy, and that was a quick 3 months because of everything that happened with Tom and
and she wanted him. And someone brought it up in the chat. I'm trying to find a comment. I forget who said it. They said Liam really wasn't interested in Ivy the way he was with Steffy and Hope. And I think that is very true. It seems like the women that are interested in them, they're not interested back. Who would give them all the time and attention and commitment. They're not interested in those women. They like to, for whatever reason, fight with toxic, complicated women.
Well, Dewan is in my chat spamming Liam and Daphne. I don't know about that, Dewan.
The ways that she would mop this man, but she might make a man out of him. Who knows?
Girl. He gonna get his feelings hurt.
Okay, and he can never cheat. He can never. the way that Daphne walks into a room and owns it, I don't know if he's ready for that. He could barely handle Steffy.
Yeah.
I don't think he can handle a Daphne.
I don't know. Here's my thing with Daphne right now, because obviously next week we're gonna see her kissing Carter. But I keep seeing these photo ops across social media about her with Zende. So are they going that direction, or are they going the Carter direction?
Who knows? Because Zende did a photo shoot with Lisa Yamada, or not Zende.
The laundromat.
Yeah, he did a photo shoot with Lisa Yamada, and that turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But obviously, it does seem like they got her talking more. So maybe they've been listening to the podcast. Or Jay Money been calling down there. Because Jay is like, she don't talk. Well, she been talking a lot this week.
They give her like a couple extra words each episode. So she went from 3 to 5, from 5 to 8. Just little trinkets here and there. So we be getting some dialogue with this girl.
Oh man, I don't know.
Gail. First of all, Ron, yes, I miss Wyatt, but Gail said that Liam might have broken heart syndrome. What is he broken hearted about?
You know what? Hey,
he's not that guy anymore. That's what he's broken hearted about.
Yeah, I mean,
that man has been used to women fighting over him for over a decade, and now nobody wants him.
Yeah.
That was passed over to Thomas. So yeah, that would make Liam brokenhearted. I get it.
Wow. Anyway, that was cute that Steph tried to give him a birthday cookie, and some people are thinking they're trying to put them two back together. But
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
definitely
sure
going
after this
to.
whole thing would happen today with the explanation, because a lot of people thought that Steffi was going to be mad, mad, mad when Finn dropped that bombshell that Poppy slept with him. She looked at him as being a victim.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that, Keish?
I mean, I think her reaction was, I think, a typical reaction someone would have if they heard that their aunt slept with them at the age of 18 and that was their first. My automatic thought would be she took advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that her reaction was one that was, I don't know, out of line or off base. It's understandable that you would think that. And it wasn't like Finn sat there and said, she did this to me and she did that and she took advantage. And, he wasn't sitting there blaming Poppy. He said, I was 18. I thought I was a man.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I didn't think there was anything wrong with her reaction. I would have been pissed too.
What about you, Bree?
I agree with that. She handled it very well. At least that part of it.
That part of it, yes.
She emphasized with that part. I think that's going to flip and change when she finds out Luna's his daughter. I'm surprised she didn't really put that together as to why he would even bring up Poppy. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen on Monday. Because that's going to be the determining factor if she would be able to accept the fact that Luna, who tried to unalive her, because they keep driving this home that what Luna did to Steffi. If she can accept it, then they might have a chance. But the way it's looking like, I don't think so.
You think it's going to blow up the marriage?
Yes.
Which is why they put the scene with Liam and Steffi together.
Exactly.
I hope not. I do not want that portrait back up on that wall again. Keish, we've been talking about that for years. They took forever to take that portrait down off that wall.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't have to be that portrait. I'm pretty sure they could put a new portrait up.
Girl, I don't want none of them up there. I mean, why take her back to that?
There's no options on the show.
No. So where does that leave Finn? Available for Hope? Because we know that's about the end.
Because, and my feeling, and I know we're jumping ahead, I feel once Hope finds out that Steffi brought on Daphne to come in between her and Carter, Hope is going to insert herself back over to try to get with Finn. That's what I was saying saying about, I think, last month.
Now, there's a lot of people in the chat saying that they don't think that's going to end their marriage.
I think it might. Because first it will make that girl hypocritical. You accept Luna, but won't accept Sheila.
I think what she might do is to tell Finn to stay away from her, just like she tell him to stay away from Sheila. And the fact that they don't know that this girl is out of prison yet. I don't know. I got to see which day next week that Finn goes over to Bill's house. But in Steffi's head, if she was like, well, yeah, that's your daughter. Well, she in prison anyway, so I won't get to see her. They don't know that she's at the house.
And that's going to be a whole other ball of wax because she is out. And you don't know if she's going to fear for her life the same way she was like she feared for her life when Sheila was out and about. And on top of it, it's a different dynamic because that is his child. And Finn is going to want both of his kids to bond, and he's going to want to bond with her as a father and daughter scenario.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. And Steffi is not going to have it. He's going to have to choose. She going to make that man choose. Just like everything else. She always make him choose.
Exactly. And I think she's going to keep venting to Liam. And he's going to be filling her head up per usual. But I don't see this being the way been building this couple up as they're untouchable, and they have overcome so many obstacles. How can you overcome a child who has harmed a wife?
I mean, unless she look at, because Finn just found out that this girl was his daughter. And so unless she was like, well, you didn't know, Poppy hid this, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they write this out. It got to make sense, though.
Yeah, I for one don't think it would be hypocritical if she eventually came around to not trying to keep Finn away from Luna. And I feel that way because Finn and Luna they have a previous relationship, like their family. He's known her since she was born or whatever. Even though they keep trying to change that dialogue, they had a previous relationship. He didn't have that with Sheila, and Steffy does have a history with Sheila. Her entire family does. At least 20 years of a violent history with Sheila. So that's why I feel like those two situations are completely different. Whereas I could see her possibly giving Luna a second chance, where Sheila has gotten, not immediately, but maybe down the line she decides that she can deal with it and give Luna a second chance, because it was one incident, a big incident, mind you, but one incident, whereas Sheila has been multiple incidents over at least 20 years with multiple people in her family. So I don't think she would be hypocritical if she decided that she was okay with giving her a second chance and still wanting to stay away from Sheila.
But that's where I have an issue with Steffy, because I feel that would make her hypocritical, because when Sheila inserted herself after the wedding, like the only thing that she's really done to them was just her presence was known, that she was out and that she was free. That was bothersome to Steffy, to the point where she was popping up at that woman's place with Deacon, karate chopping this woman, and also Sheila has saved their child, so she hasn't really committed crimes against Steffy. They were going above and beyond to try to just lock her up and keeping her away because Steffy felt threatened. Now you have Luna, who actually kidnapped this woman and drugged her, and also took lives of other people, and had no problem leaving Steffy in an abandoned building. This was cold and calculated. She actually caused harm to Steffy, like recently. So for her to all of a sudden be accepting of Luna is hypocritical, because in recent years, Sheila hasn't harmed Steffy.
I disagree. I don't think it's hypocritical at all.
I don't know. It really depends on how she's going to go about it. And Dewan, you made a very valid point. He said they can't bond, and Liam won't want Luna to bond with Kelly either. So that's the kids would be in close proximity to Luna. And if Steffy has made it a point that about safety first with the kids, if she doesn't want Sheila around those kids, why would she want Luna around those kids?
Yeah, the other thing is that she's still under court order. So even if she's not staying at Bill's anymore, she's on house arrest somewhere. Where's she gonna go?
And
unless they put her back behind bars.
Yeah, and her father, and once it becomes known to Jack and Lee, Jack is a criminal defense attorney. He's going to do what he can for his granddaughter. So I think this girl's going to get out, and I think Finn is going to be the one to try to help her get out. And that would also kind of be a slap in Steffy's face for that girl not, accepting what she's done and taking accountability for her crimes. It's like she's getting a slap on her wrist.
Let me ask you a question. Could this cause Could it cause problems for Deacon and Sheila?
No,
You don't think so?
no.
Because if Sheila wants to bond with this girl, but this is the same girl that killed Hollis and Tom, which is his friends.
Oh, that's a very valid point. However, this is the man who keeps sucking on her 9 toes. So anything that Sheila wants, Sheila gets.
I don't know.
I think that because that is Finn's daughter, that's technically his family. That's by law, that's his family. Luna's his family. I think that if he's able to forgive, once again, if he's able to forgive Sheila and all the crimes that she's done, why wouldn't he forgive Luna?
Luna's not his family by law.
Sheila and Deacon are married, though. That's her biologically. That's
biologically, but not by law.
Her grandchild.
Because Finn's not even on her birth certificate.
But he's already accepted her as his biological mother. It's known, and he's even was struggling himself with bonding with Sheila. So he wanted to have a relationship, but he stopped that because of Steffy. Now here's another extension.
I don't know. I think it might be an issue because that cut deep when Hollis and Tom were. I mean, the man got portraits all upside the wall and everything else. I don't know if he's going to be so openly able to, even though that's her granddaughter.
So then would Deacon be a hypocrite if he doesn't accept Luna?
Yes.
Well, they'll make it hypocritical if it's soapy enough. So,
yeah.
I mean,
given who his wife is, and we can tell Sheila's going to be like, hey, I was given a second chance because of you. And all the things that I did, you know my background. Like, she's going to really play that up for her grandchild. Absolutely. I think he would forgive her. He'd be more forgiving than Steffy would. And Steffy's family, too, because that's also another component. Ridge is not going to want Luna around. Taylor's not going to want Luna around. And then we also can't forget about Lee.
I mean,
there's just so many different components.
Lee is still her niece, though, isn't it? Her niece
no, her grandchild.
But it's also her niece because of her sister.
That is so nasty. Her grandniece.
Her adopted son's child, but that's her biological niece.
Oh, wow. That is just so messy. Mm-hmm. And this is the part that I don't understand. This man said, like, oh, I wish I should have known at 18 and I could have been a positive influence on her life without not even thinking about the repercussions and how this would affect his whole family.
Yeah, he's being delusional.
Yeah, you speaking from a 40-year-old mind. At 18, you think you was going to give her everything? I know when both mine were 18, they were freshmen in college, and they was asking me for money.
Right.
So
when we were talking about that in the group chat, my thought was that if that had came out back then, that Lee probably would have found a way to take Luna from Poppy.
Exactly.
There's a lot of mix. I'm curious to know, like, do you guys think that Steffy should accept Luna or treat her like how she treated Sheila?
I think she would be justified either way. I think she would be justified to treat her the way that she treats Sheila, considering what Luna did to her. And regardless of how many years it's been since Sheila tried to kill Steffy, or sorry for using the K word, she still attempted to take her out multiple times. So she doesn't have to get over that. Sheila is not entitled for Steffy to get over her trying to take her life. And Luna isn't entitled to that either. So if she chooses not to, then I think she's justified in that. If she decides that because Luna is his daughter, and that's just how much she loves Finn, and she knows how Finn feels about children. If she decides to give Luna a second chance, she's justified in doing that too, because she's doing it for her husband, just like her husband stayed away from Sheila for her. And I don't think that makes her a hypocrite, because she's willing to accept Luna or give Luna a second chance, and she's not willing to give Sheila a 100th chance.
Here's my thing with this whole thing with Steffi and that happening back in September. You gonna chase this girl down without your phone and everything, drink the Kool-Aid, knowing that you probably should have called somebody. Because, I mean, granted, that was horrible what Luna did to her by putting her in that cage, drugging her water, and all this sort of kind of stuff. But you shouldn't even been there.
Yeah.
We had this conversation last year.
I think the difference, though, with that is Luna was not known to have a violent history. She wasn't known to be a psycho. I think Steffi was just shocked that she saw her kiss Bill, and she was trying to figure out what the heck.
Exactly. Instead of chasing her, you should have confronted Bill.
Or she could have, but why would she think that Luna was a psycho?
You know what she should have done was work on her marriage, because the only reason she was even over Bill's was because she wanted to get away from Finn, because Hope kissed him.
Yep. I forgot. And that's what we were also talking about that too. How she needs this, what you leaving for.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised if she leaves because of this, because this is the song and dance that Steffi does with Finn. Anytime she doesn't like something, she leaves. Now, granted, when it came to the Sheila stuff, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I do. But when it came to him, like, Hope kissing him, and he's being upfront and honest about it, you want to go leave and hop to another country, but before you do that, you just had to stop over to see Liam.
Mm-hmm.
When you could have texted this man, and you got yourself put in a whole predicament for no reason. None. You want to play Olivia Benson to go chase this girl down.
That's right. You did bring up Olivia Benson back then, didn't you?
Yes. She had the whole costume, whole outfit, looking like Olivia Benson, forever trying to solve a crime. Always putting herself in a predicament like this. And it could have been as simple as her going to Eric GCAC, get her mind right, and work on her marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's right. Hope kissed him, and he tried to tell her, Hope kissed me, and all this sort of kind of stuff, and I didn't invite her to. She just came up on me, and you was like, I need some time. I got to get away. I'm like, where you going? He ain't do nothing to you. He's sitting up there looking like, why you leaving?
Yep, exactly. And he had to play hero. But at the same time, guess what? We found out Luna was a whole psychopath. Yay! So congrats to Olivia Benson. She solved that crime. Good for her.
Yeah, but that whole string of events was just stupid to me, the way that they wrote that, though. Because that part didn't make sense for her to leave Finn over that. And then you go over to, like you say, why not tell Liam, listen, I'm about to go out of town for a little bit. Can you go and keep an eye on the kids? You had to go over there, run and see Bill and Luna kissing. You talk to Bill.
Right.
Bill, what's up with that? And you leave your phone.
But no, you just had to follow her. So we had that.
They shouldn't have never wrote Lisa Yamada into this position in the first place. If you want to keep her, she's a talented actress. She got a lot of other projects previously that was A1. Why would you write her in the corner in order to get to this part? And then now it's just a mess. They just messed that whole thing up last year. You had Bill do a test. You had her fake the test on Bill. And then Tom presumed he was the father because there was no DNA even done on Tom. And her assuming that this man was her father, she took him out. And Hollis too. Just horrible writing.
I mean, it was a fun storyline. It was a fun twist to the whole little mystery thing, and like we living for it. We were like, okay, yes, Lisa, yes. But now we're here,
right?
And this girl is like the worst criminal ever, just hopping up in and out of living rooms, eating chips, and then her pseudo daddy telling her to go to her room, and she want to lurk behind the hallways and the plants and the trees and everything, is being hard headed. So this makes her look silly. Then her and Bill are bonding over their mothers, and oh, my mom was a 304. Oh, mine too. Like it's so. Now we're here. Now we know Finn is her daddy. Okay. This was a huge, like, roundabout way to break up Sin, in my opinion, for her to actually have a real reason to leave this man. And I wouldn't blame her. Like, she shouldn't have to put up with and form a bond with the girl who tried to almost unalive her.
Mm-hmm. Because it was, and I see people saying, Steffy was the victim, whatever. Luna should not have done what she done. She didn't have to poison that girl. She could have played it off and let Steffy walk out that door. She didn't have to do all that other stuff.
Steffy also had the option to not get in her car and turn on the ignition and follow this girl either.
Yeah, that's true too. I agree. She should have said something to Bill.
She should have stayed at home and worked on her marriage.
That is true too.
That's just me.
I forgot all about the string of events prior to leading up to that. It was Hope's kiss that sent her running for the hills.
Yeah.
It sucks. Speaking of Hope's kiss, Hope was on one this week.
Boy, she was the only one on one this week. And is happy, like completely disregarding how her mother feels, how Carter feels, how anyone feels in the building.
Yeah, before we even get to that, let's get Brooke and Ridge out the way, because that whole thing is just pathetic. And that dude walked out on her again.
Yeah. What? Oh my goodness. This is the same woman, I think I said this in the group chat, who told Caroline Jr., I can have Rich back just like that. It's a snap of the fingers, just like that. And this woman is struggling to get this man.
And she's trying to talk as if, it's time for you to come home. Get your ball and come in the house. That's basically how she talking to him. And he like, I'm going back the other way. And the man hung up the phone on her. She came over to the house. He didn't want her then, and now he's up there, and she's still begging this man to come home. And he's like, nope.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is the same woman who about a month ago slapped this man and said, go to your second choice.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's telling this man, I'm still your Logan. You're everybody's Logan.
She was telling him that the very next day after she slapped him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was Christmas, wasn't it? Like, by this time next year, me and Rich will be together. I'm like, okay, well, you're going to let him play around with Taylor for a year? Okay. So let Taylor just have her turn. These women are sharing this man. Just let her have her turn at this point.
Well, Taylor got a lot of self-confidence, because she was like, you know what? Let him go on to Forrester. I'm good. I ain't worried about it.
It's broken heart syndrome.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, I'm good. I ain't worried about Ridge. Ridge ain't gonna do nothing.
Okay.
Okay. No. How long that's gonna last?
After 190 tries? Okay.
What you got,
Maybe the
Keish?
195 will work. Okay.
What you got, Keish, on them two?
Mm,
You
nothing
over
really.
it?
I don't. My opinion about Bridge and Tridge will not change. Neither one of those women should be with him. Taylor is
Mm-hmm.
an idiot for getting back with him as quickly as she did, and Brooke is an idiot for begging him to come back to her. Like, it's been 3 decades of this. It's ridiculous.
So, do you think that Ridge should be in the same position that Liam is in right now?
Yes, he should be. Yes, he should be. And I know what Brooke is doing is pathetic, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I think Taylor is even more pathetic than Brooke, because this man is only with you because Brooke has pissed him off.
Right. Yep.
He has never, he has proven to her time and time again that when it comes down to it, and when he finally cools off and gets over it, he runs back to Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I don't know. It's very annoying that she continues to accept him in her life, knowing how things end up.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why she puts herself through it. And the nerve of her to be as confident as she is, like Rich has not left her multiple times before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's gonna work this time, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess I should admire the confidence that she has, but man, it's like you have forever. Well, I won't say forever. For the last 20 years, you have been this man's. Just like Steffy was with Liam, she has been Ridge's fallback plan.
Doormat.
Second choice. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, technically, yeah, she is the second choice, and Brooke was the choices after the second choice, technically. But like Jenna said, that woman lives out of the country, so she has like playing hopscotch in LA with Rich. So every time she gets her heart broken, she's always like on a missionary or like feeding the needy or something.
Which is pathetic. It's pathetic that you can't be in the same city with your children simply because you can't stand to see Ridge with Brooke.
Yeah, that's.
I will never forget that was the excuse that they gave her as to why she stayed away from LA. Mm-hmm. Your kids have gone through all these traumatic events, has had all these hard times, and you couldn't be bothered to stick in LA to be there for them because after 20 years, you couldn't move on from Ridge.
Right.
How pathetic is that?
And you know what? This is why I don't feel bad for her broken heart syndrome. She saw Ridge in Brooke over in Monte Carlo, and then that's when she decided to call her daughter and say, you know what, I'm going to come back to LA.
Mm-hmm. And then when she got back to LA, saw them kissing in that studio and pass out and pull all the curtains down.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I can't wait for him to prove to her that he is not worth it when he runs back to Brooke and he breaks her heart again. Because I want this to be it. I want them to allow her. I don't want them to send Taylor away again. Mm-hmm. I want them to allow her to stay on the show and have her move on. Because I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Well, this is where I kind of sad with Hope on this, and I'm hating that I'm saying this because she called that out about Ridge, whereas Steffy always pushes her mom back to this.
Yes, that is true.
But you know, the only time Hope does that is when it suits her. Because she wasn't doing this last year.
I agree.
She loves to get in Steffy's face and to gloat about how Ridge always picks her mom over hers. And likes to gloat about how happy Ridge and Brooke are together. The only time that she ever is, because she did this the last time Taylor was here and he wanted to be with Taylor because of the whole CPS phone call. And Hope was, telling her mom, well, maybe there's somebody better out there for you. You deserve better, blah, blah, blah. But the minute that they found out that CPS phone call was a fake, she was right back to, my mom deserves Ridge. They make each other happy. They're each other's destiny. She was back on that tangent. So I can't even.
But at least
I can
she
barely
calls
give
it
her props
out.
for that.
Right, but
What'd you say?
she does call it
She
out
does
from
call.
time,
She
but
did call it
Steffi
out.
never does.
You are right about that. She called. She has called it out a couple of times, and Steffi never does.
Yes.
But she's doing it because her mom and Ridge not getting back together benefits her right now because of the whole takeover, and she needs her mom to be on her side, and she knows that if they get back together, that her mom is not going to be on her side. Which I guess Brooke isn't really on her side right now anyway, but she's still making excuses for her.
Yeah, because that was the other thing in that conversation. She was in one breath telling Katie, yeah, my daughter is really behind this thing, and then get in front of Ridge talking about, well, you can't blame everything on Hope. I'm like, which one is it?
Mm-hmm.
She, same way she was last year, keeping all her daughter's secrets. Saying
about
her daughter's going. Yeah. Well, actually, even before that, even her feelings for Thomas, just making excuses and going to anybody who can hear her, saying like, "My daughter went through a hard time," like, don't believe what she sees. Like, Hope's character, she wouldn't do such a thing. She would not let this girl fall the way she needs to fall on her face. Oh. She has no problem risking her relationship with Ridge or, her credibility. Like, she has no problem looking stupid for her daughter.
Right. Yep, she does not. Speaking about that, she was looking real crazy when she walked in to see Ridge and Carter hugging it out.
Actually, before that, oh my goodness, I didn't have a chance to comment last week. The way this girl didn't pass out, like, she crashed out about this man even wanted to apologize.
Yeah.
For his actions. And then flash forward to Monday's episode. Mom, we can't allow the Forresters to take control of what we've accomplished. Like, how can they make Carter feel sorry for their actions? I'm like, go ahead and put on the waterworks, girl. Look at you. This full-on villain mode. Look at you. Well, so proud you finally showing your true form.
I thought Carter was going to crack. And then the moment that Hope came up in there, he backpedaled. And they got into I mean, Hope went toe-to-toe with Ridge while he's standing behind her being quiet, which is why, in so many words, Ridge was like, I see who wear the pants in this relationship.
You're ready to wear the crown, Carter. Right. Oh, that was the best line that Ridge came out of his mouth. I was like, oh, goodness. It rang true.
And I mean, she was adamant about, no, I would never work for them again. And it's like, do you actually think that you're going to run this company in perpetuity? She actually think that the two of them are going to just run this company for the rest of the time it's in existence. It's not going to happen. It belongs to the Forresters. And even Carter was like, we tricked these people.
No, you didn't, Carter. We had to take the control. They were bullying us, Carter.
She need to stop.
They were bullying. And the thing and I'm glad that you touched on it in one of your recaps, T. She's saying all of this about Ridge and Steffy. What about Eric?
Right.
What did Eric do to you to take his company away from him?
Girl, she ain't thinking about nothing but that power. And then she gonna sit up there and tell him that Ridge could come back only as an employee. He's a shareholder.
Like, he has to take orders from us. I refuse to work for this man. He called me a B word. He called me an S word. Like, I used to call this man dad. Like, how can he do this to me? Like, where did this even come from?
You stole his company.
Right. And that's still the annoying thing about this for me, is that she's not owning the fact that what her and Carter did, or I mean technically what Carter did, was just flat out wrong. They keep hiding behind we're doing this for the good of the company, we're doing this for the little guy and the people who felt undervalued and unheard. And it's like, who else in the company is saying this? Because I have only heard Hope say it and Carter say it. Katie hasn't said anything. Katie seemed to be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel that way, even though she tried to say that she didn't feel valued or appreciated. And Rich checked her and was like, you mean that campaign that we did for you over the summer? That whole thing where we went to Monaco?
Right.
That whole thing we put together for you? You don't feel appreciated or valued? Like, are you kidding me? So it's like they haven't even had, little scenes of other employees maybe saying something about how relieved they are now that Steffy is gone because she was so mean. They've actually had the opposite when they had the couple of interns or whoever they were, the ones that Will had lunch with. They talked about how cool it was to work there and how cool Steffy was. So it's like, this sounds like a Hope problem, not a Forrester Creations problem where all the other employees also feel this way.
She mad that she didn't get what she wanted. Her line
That's exactly
sucked.
what it is.
Her line sucked and it had to go. They let that line run its course for the better of 2024 through all 4 quarters. And it was time for it to go. And when they canceled it, she took it personal. Not only the fact that you were around there pursuing her husband for the better of 2024.
Exactly.
And didn't they touch on the fact that they don't have any designers?
Right.
So we'll get some. We'll get some. So once again, she's happy about every other thing that they're releasing over at Forrester Creations. They're happy about the jewelry line, the fragrance line, nothing about tacky for the future.
She's so tacky for the future. I mean,
or forever ugly,
and
or whatever she wants to call her line.
The bread and butter of that company is couture. Who's doing the couture line? We just had some repeat episodes that started after the Beyond the Gates, like behind the scenes or whatever. And the first episode on Monday was that whole thing where they did that competition between Ridge and Eric when he was getting sick. Those dresses were absolutely gorgeous. And that's the bread and butter of Forrester Creation, not all this other stuff. And you don't have designers to design couture?
And it's a fashion house.
Thank you. Talking about we gonna get some. Oh, okay, so what's been happening? I know the buyers got to be pulling out because they're gonna like, where's the stuff at? Anybody designing anything?
And here's my other thing. They took over the company for like a couple of months. So she has no fashions for Hope for the Future. Or what Jenna said, goodwill for the future. No fashion.
I mean, goodwill out.
Or forever tacky and ugly. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I would respect her little villain air much more if she just admitted she's doing this because she hates Steffy. Instead of trying to hide behind, we're good people. We're doing this because we're good people and we want to make sure that Forrester Creations continues to be successful, or it's whatever their excuse is. Just say, I'm doing it because I hate Steffi's guts. And I want to take something from her.
Like, she's mad at Steffy because she's a Forrester, or she has the accolades, the business success, the business savvy that she never had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's probably jealous of her siblings. All of her siblings are Forresters, and she can't be one.
Did she ever find out why Carter hurt his hand?
She didn't even care. She
I didn't think
immediately saw
so.
red.
I think Carter didn't Carter say something like it was just a little accident or something like that?
She didn't care. She didn't even care about
she
the
didn't press it.
nothing.
Yeah, she didn't care about that. She's power hungry right now. She don't want to lose it. She's enjoying the fact that Ridge and Steffy up under her feet. Or my thing is, what is her job role? Is she on the executive staff at all? I thought she was just there to do the hope for the future. Why does it look like they're gonna be working for her? Because even
That's
Ridge
why
said, I'm supposed to answer to you, and she looking like, yeah. I'm like, you ain't who boss are you?
Yeah, I didn't understand that because when Carter took over the company, he offered her an executive position and she said no. She just wanted to focus on hope for the future. So I don't understand why Steffi or anybody else would be answering to her other than her team.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't understand that part.
Her role is to wear Carter's pants, and his role is to wear the cape for her.
That's a good one, Bree.
Look, I mean, she needs, just like Monique Abrams said, like she needs to focus on Section 8 designs by HFTF and producing the fashion.
And you know what? After this whole thing is said and done, if they don't have some type of, I don't know, storyline where Hope opens her own business or starts her own clothing or does something outside of Forrester Creations, this will have been stupid. Because in what world would they ever let her come back and work there?
They're
her
not.
and Carter both.
And from what I understand, Sean Kanan was saying that right now they're doing a lot of scenes with him and Hope together over at Il Giardino, which
maybe she's working there.
Exactly, which we'll see that in mid to late March. So
that's her legacy: panties and pizzas.
I mean, they could do a storyline where he opens up a new location and that's Hope's restaurant.
There we go. See? Look, she said she didn't want to work for Forrester no more. Okay, fine. So when all of this comes about, her mother should not be begging Rich for her to get her job back.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
No, you're good.
One of y'all go ahead.
I was going to say, that's the part that I don't understand when it comes to Brooke. Like, let's say that she gets her man back. Her man does not want to deal with Hope. He didn't even want to live in the same roof, underneath the same roof as her.
Girl, she don't care. Just like she's hated his kids for years, she don't care if Rich hates hers.
But his might actually stick. He said, I don't want to deal with her. Then what is Brooke going to
do? Well, she'd be right over there with, I don't know if she might work with Sheila. She's been giving Sheila a little grace because of Finn last year.
And that makes sense. Like, she can't be like her sibling. She can't be RJ, Bridget, or Rick. They're actual Forresters. And she's mad that she can never be one. Her legacy is pizzas and panties, courtesy of her parents.
Jasmine Williams said Hope can sell Hope for the Future aprons at Il Giardino.
That seems like they'll be in her wheelhouse. She seems to can quickly produce that versus some real fashions.
I mean, she can't even really do that because she don't own the Hope for the Future name or brand.
No, that's a Forrester product.
Yep.
Yeah,
she would have to buy them out.
Ooh, this is gonna be a fall for her. It's curious and like I say, unless they make her co-CEO over at Giardina Pizza. Or a COO, because I'm assuming Sheila would be co-CEO with Deacon. So,
I mean, they keep talking about how brilliant of a businesswoman and CEO Brooke is. Maybe Brooke will leave Forrester with her.
I don't know.
And they can start something together. I'm sure Katie would be happy to go with her sister and her niece.
That sounds about right. Take the cookie with the crumbs.
Great. Yeah, well, I think the Thursday, the 27th episode is where it's either that Wednesday or Thursday of next week that the Foresters are going to get the company back. Spoiler alert. So, yay. I'm happy about that because I'm over this whole
Yeah.
thing with Carter. Carter is struggling. Maybe that man gets some sleep at night.
And he was looking at her sideways too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm annoyed that they're letting Carter off the hook the way they are though.
Well,
They should give him
they gotta keep him around somehow.
he should get just as much smoke as they're giving Hope. Carter is not an idiot.
I agree.
Well, maybe all the blood rushed from one head to the other, so.
But he might get some grace from Ridge, because even after that hug, I'm like, okay, you're still hugging this man. Okay, you're gonna let this man back, so he gets away with this, with committing his crimes. But I feel like this man needs to work his way up, because he completely disregarded the fact that he was always appreciated. And I'm glad that Ridge chin checked him and said, hey, you received promotion after promotion. When I wanted to step down, my daughter wanted to work with you and you guys be co-CEOs.
And you turned her down.
Exactly. He can never sit here and say he's never received an executive level promotion. So he needs to work his way up, put him in the mailroom, janitorial services, and let them actually prove it.
Not janitorial services.
It's better than jail.
Yeah, but it's clear that he's going to get left off, off the hook. They thinking that that Hope had his brains locked up. So,
I mean, we saw that from the beginning of this storyline, because the very first thing Steffy and Ridge both said was Hope brainwashed him. He's doing this for Hope. This is all because and even back then, when Ridge first found out, he gave him an out.
Yeah.
He gave him an out and told him, just give us the company back. We'll forget all this happened. You'll keep your job, blah, blah, blah. So he was even prepared back then to let Carter off the hook. And through this whole thing, both Ridge and Steffi's main talking point has been, he's doing this all for Hope.
Yep.
So they were always going to let Carter off the hook and just put it completely on Hope, which is bogus to me.
And Ron Julian, I agree. He needs to be disbarred. I would not be this generous as Ridge and Steffi. To be honest, like, you took my company, you deceived me, and then just disrespect to myself and my family. No, I'm going to work overtime. Make sure you get disbarred. No, you don't even work as a lawyer. You went against your own oath.
Yep. So, all right, I think we covered everything for Bold. Yeah, we did. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Next week look like it's going to be a good week for Bold. It's a lot of things coming out. So, the kiss with Daphne and Carter, the Foresters getting the company back, the bombshell about Luna being Finn's daughter to Steffi. So, it's going to be a lot of good stuff next week. Looking forward to it. And Beyond the Gates.
Oh, yes. Cannot wait. Oh, it's going to be a big week next week.
Yep, I agree. All right, so we got our segments, our Flip the Script, Who's Taking Several Seats, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and Simp Olympics. So for YNR, what you flipping?
For me, it would have been Summer when Summer asked Chance to help find Phyllis. I wish Chance would have got up from the table and said, you're on your own.
Especially how rude she was. Absolutely.
For that reason specifically, because she was rude to him, because she said it as if she was entitled to an apology for how they handled the investigation with Heather. So I wish Chance would have told her no, or at least maybe said, I'll pass this off to somebody else. I don't want to be involved. And I don't owe you an apology for me doing my job.
Yep, I agree. What you got, Bree?
I actually had two. I really wish that Lauren didn't
Give in.
let Michael off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest. And my second one would have been a better wig for Amy.
Oh.
Something less synthetic and more human. But
alrighty then. Oh, look like we won't have that as an issue on Beyond the Gates.
Thankfully.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
Mm-hmm. Good job. They know what they was doing. All right. My flip would have been Kyle telling Claire, we don't have to do none of this when it comes to your grandfather. And if she continued to push, ask her why are you pushing so hard? I know this man longer than you have. He's not gonna do it. So either we continue our relationship together, or that's it. What was she gonna do? Break up with him?
That's what it made it seem like. Like, so if you don't get his approval, then what?
Right. So if you gonna break up with him, okay, fine. Then how strong was the relationship anyway? If you need your grandfather's approval just for us to stay together, yeah, okay. What y'all flipping on Bold?
What am I flipping on Bold?
Well, I would have had Ridge turn around, see Hope standing there, and push her out the door and close the door.
Yeah.
And let me keep convincing Carter to give me my company back.
Oh man, I don't know. Go ahead, Bree.
I was gonna say when Liam's was talking to Steffy about how he was alone and his life sucks. I wish he just said, "Well, it serves you right."
Oh my!
I thought you felt bad for Liam.
I do, but like from Steffy's point of view, he hurt her, so I would have respected her saying, "Well, it serves you right."
Mm-hmm. What you got, Key? Can't think of nothing.
I can't. I would have taken out the dialogue with Finn about how he would have been able to make a difference in Luna's life, because that's just ridiculous thinking.
Yeah, 18.
You were 18. You wouldn't have known the first thing about raising a child, let alone the fact that it would have been complete and total drama because that was your aunt.
Right.
Your mom would have been devastated, and yeah, it would have been a whole different situation.
I agree. Taking seats, Young and the Restless.
Claire.
I'm gonna say Victor. He got on my nerves. Victor had to take a seat. Because the way Michael let him do it, but he was yelling at and getting all up in Lily's business. And he was a menace this week. Who taking
Lily put him in the business, didn't she?
Yeah, she sure did. But he took it even further.
You know what? I'm going to give her a seat, too.
Yeah. Thank you. Claire deserves her seat.
Well, I don't know. I might give her a seat on Damian, so.
Who?
Damian.
Claire?
Lily.
Oh, I was about to say, whoa.
Yeah, no, I was saying I'm going to give Lily a seat.
Yeah, she said I'd give Lily a seat, and I said, yeah, I got to give Lily a seat on Damian.
Yeah, good for that.
It's been a while for the girl.
Been over a year.
Oof. Yeah, she got a few cobwebs probably. So, all right. Bold. Seats.
Poppy once again trying to get Finn to keep that secret.
I'm gonna give Brooke a seat because she looked pathetic.
We'll give it to Hope and Bill. Hope, obviously, for obvious reasons, but Bill, you are a billionaire, and you hired Remy. Don't do a background check, and you let this boy come into your house.
No, he didn't hire Remy. He hired Dario.
Still.
Off of Sheila's reference.
Right.
Off of Sheila's reference. And you pay him $500 and he got a YouTube University education on how to fix your AC. Get out of here, sir.
Right. Right.
And you know what? When he said to Sheila, I had to find a way to stay in LA. My first question to him would have been, so you can continue to stop that girl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like,
okay, yeah, they obviously wanted this guy back. They don't know how to bring people in. It's just crazy.
mm-hmm.
The transition is just ridiculous when they write this stuff. Let's see. Okay, so our star of the week. YNR.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to the new guy,
Jermaine Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree with that.
I'm gonna give it to why do I want to call her Dee Dee? I'm gonna give it to the actress who plays Amy because she did
Valerie
some crying.
Pettiford.
Yeah, she did some crying this week. This is how you cry on cue, Tanner Norwood.
Yeah,
their scene today was a good. They were both good in it.
Yep. And then what about Bold Star?
Annika. Boy.
I gotta give it to Torsten for the catchy phrases.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Oh, go ahead.
I agree. Like he definitely did that.
What you got, Keish?
I'll do Torsten as well. His scenes with Victor, is it Lawrence St. Victor or Victor St. Lawrence? I can never get
Lawrence St. Victor.
Yeah, their scenes were really good, in my opinion.
I agree with that. Pickle of the week. Summer.
Michael.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say him for something else, but yeah, okay.
Oh, he can hold both positions.
Well, Summer got on my nerves. It's like, ugh, girls, just you got chance and you want to go get yourself involved in that.
For a rerun.
What about for Bold? Poppy is ridiculous.
I'm gonna give it to Brooke. All this begging.
I'm gonna give it to Poppy again.
Yeah.
Poppy is. She's going to be on my list until she can admit that what they did, that what happened was wrong.
Yeah, well.
But she still ain't. I still have not heard her say that what they did was wrong. She is saying the opposite.
I agree.
So when Lee finds out, I want to see her say that to Lee's face.
That's gonna be an ugly blow up, boy. Lee is gonna lose it.
Yep.
And then our Simp Olympic Award. It goes to none other than Michael Baldwin.
I'm gonna say I think we all agree on that one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With his platinum hair. He was ready to take charge and get a hold of that award. He got tired of Carter and Nick winning the award each and every week.
I am going to give Damian a little bit of a bronze because he was simping so hard for Lily that he even apologized. Well, actually talked to his mother just to stay in town to be around Lily.
Okay.
Because he was on his way out. And when he saw Lily, he was like, and she told him, if you want to talk to me, you need to go talk to your mama first. And he did it too.
Okay. I'm going to give him a bronze. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. But Michael collected silver, gold, and platinum this week.
Well, would you give Carter a little bitty one too? Because I mean, Hope wore them pants in that office.
I'm gonna lay off Carter. Personally, I'm gonna lay off Carter. Michael said the most stupid, egregious things this week. He wanted all of the medals.
Yeah, this man is willing to take a bullet for Victor.
That right there alone is the platinum.
And that man could care less. Oof.
about his wife. He earned silver when he said he was happy to be on speed dial. He won gold when he said he's guilty, not guilty to a fault, but he's loyal to a fault for Victor. And then he said he would take a bullet for this man. He got platinum.
Mm-hmm. It's some type. It's like a toxic relationship between the two of them.
They all love toxic relationships on the show.
Oh man,
Michael's is just it's the worst of it with him.
It's the worst. Yeah, it's pathetic. I mean, your wife, you don't care nothing about how your wife could lose you because you trying to look good to Victor Newman.
Yeah, it's so cringy.
It sure is. It's like, man. All right, we covered everything. Hopefully you guys have a great week. Hit that like button on the way out. And stay tuned for the spoilers. I'm hoping I'm not going to look too hard for some spoilers for Beyond the Gates because of I don't think they're just going to do just a pilot week and then we'll get spoilers after that. But yeah, the Y&R and the Bold spoilers are already out. I put them on the blog, so they're on the Medium blog that I have out there. So. Yep.
Well, this is going to be the last, I guess, episode with just talking about the two soaps.
Yeah. What did we top out at with people in the chat today, Bree? I know you've probably been watching.
It's been at 150 steady most of the night.
Okay, cool. All right, you guys, we're going to end it right here. And other than that, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye everybody.
Bye, guys.